Guess this is gonna be a short video. I forgot to check my battery before I went to sleep and when I woke up, and it has 1 bar. Maybe I should have just recorded on the way here. Decided to go to the downtown post office since there's less hills to get here than the other one across town, because it's Saturday, which means the one I usually go to, that's a 10 to 15 minute ride from my house, depending on the situation, each way. It's closed today. So here we are. I got a free bike last night, kind of excited. Letting the tubes do their thing. Couldn't get the rear ones aired up until like an hour ago. Took a while. Got the front ones to work with me. But it seems like it was outside for a bit because it was all dirty. Might contact the dude and see if he still has the other two. I wasn't expecting to live so close since that rarely happens, but I messaged him after I saw the listing go up because of the freebie app I mentioned. Since he was on next door, offer up, it came up on there, and he lives like 5 or 6 blocks from my house. I actually pass his house quite frequently whenever I go to the post office or in general. It just depends on which route I take to get home or go wherever. But if I go down to Sonoma, I usually take it. So it's like 11, 12 minutes to walk there, something like that. Maybe more, maybe less, maybe 10. Maybe 10 to 15, I don't know. Google said 11, and I'm a pretty quick walker, even when I didn't put much effort, but I told him I was walking the ETA, so he was, as I was leaving, so no worries on that. But he said it wasn't a BMX before I got there. When I said which one I wanted, he's like, you don't want all 3 of that? Well, I'll run the car. Oh, okay. But since he lives like 6 blocks from my house, I might see before or after I go to my sister's what's up with the other 2 bikes. Take one or both. This one I'm going to keep for myself, but it's a 26-inch Diamondback. Said it wasn't a BMX, but then it looked like a BMX in pictures. I get there, it looks like a BMX, so I don't know what's up with that. The wheels are deep V's, which you don't always see on most BMX. But my Mongoose 26-inch did come with them, so I wasn't surprised. But the rear one is a mountain bike rear single speed cassette. I'm guessing the front is the same, but it might not be because the front, I think, is a Allen wrench bolt, while the rear is just a standard bolt on with a wrench or socket wrench. So I'm excited. I was gonna ride it to the post office, but because I was gonna just ride it to the one by my house, but figured I'd get on this bike instead. Might turn into a fixed gear, might keep it single speed, depends. Need to change the chain for sure, but it depends on, I forgot to count the sprocket, the rear sprocket, to see how many teeth it had. But I don't know why. I think it was a race BMX, not a freestyle, and that's why he said it wasn't a BMX, because it's thinner, a little smaller, I believe. Definitely thinner than this and my Mongoose, which are both 26 inches bikes, just different slightly by the wheelbase. So we'll see. Kind of excited, but getting 2 free Diamondbacks, 2 different kinds in like a month, 3 weeks to a month, maybe 5 weeks. Not too shabby. Keeping both. I was having trouble with the tubes because they're both Presta instead of Schrader, so I had to go through. I finally gave up, but since I try to keep my tubes just in case for patch replacement or patch repair, or to keep if it has good valve cord, I'll keep them for that. So since I have a trash bag in my room full of various sized tubes at the moment, I used one of the stopper thingies from a 700 C tube, because I was wondering if that was the problem, if it was too loose. And then finally, after a little finagling and going through the process, my pump's kind of funky, and it didn't help that the valve on that is slightly, it's kind of too small. It fits, but it would be nice if the tube had a stem that was 1 to 2 sizes bigger. But having the metal holder from the 700C tube, it did help because it kept it in place. I just had to fiddle around with my pump, as well as the proper angle, since I did it with the wheel on my bed. And I also had to tighten and loosen the valve, since my pump is so weird. Every so often I have to fiddle around, maybe hold the nozzle for a few pumps and do it one-handed. All depends. Usually only happens on press the tubes, but sometimes it does it on Schrader as well. It just depends. I need to get a new one. Kind of broke it. It works, but I have it all. The pressure gauge is taped on. Otherwise, it's alright. just have to sometimes fool around, do a few pumps before I even put it in for whatever reason. Gotta go through the whole string of events. Even though I tend to put a little air in before I seat it into the tire, so you think it'll work, but not always the case. Sometimes, but not always. So I'm interested in the project. Ooh. I want to take that post office box, but I don't need the vacuum or whatever it is, attachment, hose, dealing. Trying to decide if I want to stay out for a little bit or not. I think I'm gonna go home since I'm like 10 to 15 minutes away, depending on how long I have to wait at this light and the next stop sign. Thought it died on me, but if it does, like, share, subscribe, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell everyone. I'm excited. I get to try Filipino food for the first time today. Since I'm weird and I don't eat meat or seafood, my sister's fiance is gonna make me an okra and eggplant dish while they have sushi when we go there in a few hours. Very excited. He's a really good cook, so that's my other reason of being excited. Last year he made a bunch of stuff for me and my sister. Well, him and my sister, I should say him and my sister did. He did most of the cooking, but she did help. For Christmas or Thanksgiving, I can't remember. But he made a super good mushroom-based gravy, which was nice. Since I haven't had mashed potatoes and gravy since I became vegetarian in 2000, sometime between 2001 and 2002, because I initially tried to go vegetarian in 2001, a little after or a little before I turned 13. Can't remember, so long ago. But one of my friends, my best friend at the time, his family wasn't very responsive to it, so sometimes I'd have to backstep. I'd be vegetarian everywhere else except for when I was with his family. So that kind of made me not hang out with him as much because it got annoying and I was trying to be serious and not half-ass it. So we slowly stopped hanging out. Not really animosity, it just, even though we're friends since he was born, because he's a few months younger than me, kind of just grew apart. Since we had a few differences, and after I moved over here, being a bridge apart and not having a car or job, I didn't have the convenience of being able to walk to his house if I wanted to. Could ride a bike, but I didn't start going long distance till a little bit after. That. But yeah, so it was nice having the full mashed potato experience and nice taste to it as well. Might sound weird being mushroom based. It was nice and thick too, which was also nice. When I did eat meat and I ate gravy, I was more with anything. I always like a thick gravy versus a watery one. Oh yes, and this is the street that dude lives on. That's how often I come by. Didn't even think about that when I mentioned it. I was thinking about the other intersection at the top, but usually this is how I go home. I usually go that intersection to go to or from, but sometimes I'll go down this side when I'm going somewhere, but typically I go up that little hill, which you probably noticed if you've seen many of my videos. There's this guy, he's nice, I just don't always want to talk to him. I saw him he saw me when I was going down the hill. I turned off of the hill that was in front of me right before the turn, which is my street just a few blocks down. He saw me, so I waved, but sometimes he can ramble. If I'm not in a rush, I'll be nice. Like if I'm going to the recycling place, since it's not that far. But he's nice, it's just don't want to stop sometimes. Mostly because I don't have that much to say. A little less awkward than when he used to call me Jesus. Oh, hey Jesus. Oh, hi Jesus, how are you doing? Just because of my long hair and beard. At least now he calls me by my name. Which is a little less awkward. I just don't really have much to say. Mostly since he always, after a while back, he asked me if I could keep an eye out for an old school skateboard, but I never see them. He wanted to buy mine for me, but no. Even though I barely use it, because I need to replace one of the wheels. It's a little harder to get now. One of the Santa Cruz Ninja Turtle board from a couple years ago. Speedy little devil, since I had good bearings and wheels being a Santa Cruz board. Just hope when I try to replace the wheel, it won't be that bad. Since it came out, I got it in 2018 and it came out in 2016. Somewhere between 2014 and 2017, I'll guess. So hopefully I can get a 4-pack, 2-pack, 3, just got spares. But I am home. I might add a clip later to show the new bike, but we'll see. Like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna get harassed by the dog now. Alright, bye.